Hi, hello, hey. So I'm going to be painting Cinderella spread in my sketchbook with gouache, the viral jelly gouache that mine is very old, but yes. And here are the reference photos. This is what I think of when I think of this movie, so I had to do that one. Cool lighting, pretty dress and little birds. Wanted to do a background. I love that scene so much. And a pumpkin, of course. Yeah, so here are mine. I was really hoping they wouldn't be this dried out. I mean, I know it's been a long time since I opened them, but last time I used them, I did a whole thing and put a bunch of water in them and I mixed them. Yeah, that did not last long. Yeah, and I'm going to be using these pretty brushes that I forgot I had. I used to use them a lot, but then I got the silver black velvet paintbrushes and I just never looked back. But yeah, so here's the sketch. Yeah, it doesn't look that good, but we're gonna paint over it so it'll look better. But yeah, so also the pumpkin reference photo, it had the fairy godmother in it, but I decided that I didn't want to paint her. There was enough tiny people in this page already. The bubble Cinderellas and the little ones on the right, the little people. I hate painting tiny. Also, I'm pretty sure I said this last time too, but I would recommend doing this on a bigger sketchbook. I don't know why I didn't do it. Actually, I do. It's because filming on a big sketchbook is just annoying. So you can't fit it all in the frame. It's a mess. Yeah, so I did a watercolor base layer since these paints tend to lift. Also, if you remember last time, I didn't use a watercolor sketchbook, so I did marker as a base layer, but then I forgot that markers bleed through the page. So the page that was on the other side, the drawing that was on the other side of the page got all messed up because I forgot how markers worked. This time, I forgot again. But then I remembered after I did the sketch, so I was like, I'm just going to use watercolors in the pencil sketchbook, and hopefully it works out. And it actually did work out, so I need to stop underestimating the pencil paper, because it took the watercolors like a champ. Good job. Yeah, so, oh yeah, also for some reason, my gouache was drying 30 seconds after I put it on the paint palette. And it was driving me nuts. So halfway through, I switched mixing palettes because I thought it was the palette and it kept happening. So maybe it's just because it's warmer out, 'cause it's summer. I don't even know if it's summer yet, but because it's almost summer or summer. I don't know. But yeah, that was weird and it was driving me crazy. Oh yeah, halfway through this painting, I remembered there was a giant shadow. So I covered up all my hard work. The shadow actually, really helped it out. It made it look really cool. Geez, I was talking so fast I didn't even remember what I was going to talk about. Oh, yeah, I remember. So, fun fact. When you draw things, you tend to notice a lot more detail than when you're just looking at it. But yeah, the little mirror things in between the doors on the bottom painting I was just working on, those little mirror things are also candle holders. Isn't that fancy? And also, I never noticed, but that little dress hanger thing, is that just a fancy closet for just one dress? Because it only holds one, there's only one hanger. Or is it one of those screen things and they just hung a dress on it? Okay, that could be possible too, but either way, it's very fancy and I love it. But yeah. Oh yeah, also I've talked about this before, but I've been wanting to do this video for a really long time. And recently I looked back at the reference photos that I picked out for this video, and I was like, oh, that's so funny. They're a year old. So I was looking at them in April, and I was like, oh my god, they're exactly a year old. That's hilarious. And then when I started actually drawing them, I was looking at the reference photos again. And I realized they're from 2022, so they're actually 2 years old. Isn't that great? I was making such a big deal out of them and they were 1 year old, but actually they're twice as old as that. So that's pretty funny. And it's funny too, because I remember picking out the reference photos, like, so well. And I was even talking to my mom about it, and she was like, oh yeah, I remember when you picked out those photos. And I was like, why do I remember this so well when it was so long ago? It's such a random thing to remember. But yeah, so that's funny. Yeah, also, as one does, I rewatched the movie, but then I didn't actually start the painting till like weeks after I rewatched it for the painting. So it's not fresh in my brain anymore, but I tried. I'm also pretty sure I stopped paying attention halfway through, so I don't know what I was doing, but I think I need to watch it again while I'm working on this. But yeah, also, I do have a list of paintings that I want to do for this series. Ooh. I want to do Princess and the Frog next, and then I want to do Brother Bear, which I'm really excited about, because no one ever talks about that movie, and in my head, it has really good backgrounds, so I want to draw them, but I've never paid attention to how drawable the backgrounds are in that movie. So I'm excited to pick out reference photos for that, because I have no idea what I want to draw. Princess and the Frog, though, I got ideas, and I've seen that movie so many times, so I know the backgrounds are pretty in that one. I also watched a movie about, I watched a video about Brother Bear, and they were like, the backgrounds in this movie are so pretty, and I was like, good. That's what I want to hear. But yeah, also for this drawing, as I do, which you probably noticed with my style, I like to outline things so they're very easily identifiable and they pop out, right? And so yeah, that's it. In the movie, they're not that outlined, like they kind of are, you know, since it's a cartoon animated, but not as outlined as what I'm doing. Yeah, that's just how I draw. And also, since the drawings are so small and I'm using a paintbrush, the outlines are kind of big, so they look very outlined. But yeah, if they were bigger, it might look better. I don't know, I'm pretty sure I said this last time I did this. I did the Alice in Wonderland one, and I was like, I should really draw it bigger next time. And then I did the opposite. I'm doing 4 drawings on one, like, page. It's not smart. But it'll look pretty. Yeah, also, these bubbles are, like, really cool and pretty, but also, like, the worst thing ever. So, I did Cinderella's house because I remembered that her house is really pretty, so I wanted to draw a good background from her house, right? And then it turned out I actually couldn't find that many, like, good screenshots from her house. I did eventually pick one, though. Oh, yeah. I also had this weird empty space at the bottom of the page, and I took forever trying to figure out what I wanted to do there. But then I had a brilliant idea just to write Cinderella at the bottom. Real smart. But yeah, I did kind of a cool thing. I found a movie poster. So, and I tried to copy the font that was on the movie poster. Obviously, it doesn't look as good as the actual on the poster because I'm terrible at writing fonts, but I tried. So, these bubbles, right? So, the background on the bubble is actually black, but it doesn't look black. It's very suspicious. Not on mine, though. I didn't do black. I don't know why, but I decided not to for some reason. I don't really have a good reason, but I didn't. But yeah, so very trick of the light. It's outlined in a color, so it looks like it's pink or green, but it's actually black. Very fancy. Oh yeah, and I had to zoom in on this part because I did line art for the little Cinderellas and the bubbles. It was the worst. It was so tiny. I was like, don't breathe, don't breathe. And also, like, I had to draw 2 identical Cinderellas that are, like, 2 different sizes, which was really weird. I don't really know if there's, like, a way with traditional art to, like, draw something and then copy it and shrink it without, like, I don't know, using a printer or something. I don't know. I guess you could use a printer and you could like print them out or something, and then I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't know how to do that. So mine aren't identical. I tried to make them look identical, but they're not. Also, this clock. So this is what I think of when I think of Cinderella. So I had to draw it. And I was like, wow, this clock is so pretty. It's so detailed. I love it. I'm admiring it. It's so cool. And then I go to draw it. It was not fun. I spent 30 minutes sketching out that clock because it was so detailed. And I couldn't even fit everything in. Like, I don't know how, like, the artist, like, managed to do this, but they somehow, like, drew all the sides of the clock. Like, in the reference photo, you can almost see, like, all the sides. So, I don't know how they got that angle, but I couldn't figure it out. So, yeah, anyway, it was very impressive, and it is very detailed, and I don't know how they fit so much stuff in. It was crazy. But yeah, also, like, ignore how, like, wonky my lines are and stuff. Doing a straight line with a paintbrush is difficult. But yeah, also, I gotta say, I am a little proud of myself for outlining everything with a brush. Yeah, just gotta. A little proud. Also, since the clock is annoying, it's written in oh my god, what are those called? I didn't say them in my head, but those numbers with the V's and the X's, and I couldn't figure out what the 8 looked like, so I made it up. I think 8 is the X minus 3, so 10 minus 3, I think is how you write an 8, but I don't know if that's right. Roman numerals, right? Oh my god, how do you say it? It's in my head. I don't know, I'll figure it out later when I do the second voiceover for this video, but anyway, they are so weird. Like, so V is 5 and X is 10. And then to do different numbers, you put like plus or minus next to the V and X. So I don't have them memorized, but I do know how they work. So that's kind of cool. Except I think that's common knowledge. But let me imagine. But yeah, I couldn't see how the 8 was, so I made it up. And then on the second clock, I did not do the V's and X's. I was too lazy. So I just put little crosses and called it good. And now we're on to the second page. So I did mess up and I did pink, but it's actually peach on that painting. And that, I don't know whatever artist like did that like scene, but they are so smart. They used pretty much only 2 colors, peach and blue. And then they had the 2 colors switch so you could see like the shadows and like the outlines of everything. It was so sneaky. But yeah, you'll see when I only do a little bit of this and then I switch over to Cinderella, so you'll see more about that in a second. But yeah, anyway, whoever that was, they were very smart. So, in a second here, I switched to Cinderella, so that's what I'm going to talk about. I got a lot to say about Cinderella. A lot of things. So, this one, I used like 2, maybe 3 different screenshots for the pose of this. Like, I kind of mixed them. I had this one, but then I decided that I didn't like her face expression. And I might have changed her arms. I don't remember what else I changed, but mostly I changed her face. I decided that I wanted her to be like looking at her dress and smiling when she got it, which she kind of does, but like after she gets it, it's not like while she's getting it. But this isn't animated, this is just one picture, so I wanted my painting to have all the things. So there's glitter from the dress, and there's smiles, all the things. Also, I wish I filmed me sketching this one. Oh yeah, also this has a big ugly stage, so just know it gets better. But yeah, it looks really bad right now. But anyway, I wish I filmed myself sketching this one because I spent maybe an hour and a half like sketching this just because the face, I couldn't figure out how to draw the face. But yeah, also, like I said, I changed the reference photo, so it could have been, I didn't exactly know what I wanted the face to look like, so I messed around with it for a really long time. But yeah, and luckily, I'm using gouache, so I could paint over my erase marks. There was a lot of different lines going on with the pencil. But yeah, anyway, it was a mess. But this one, I think, actually ended up being the quickest one. Just because, I draw humans most of the time, so I kind of know how to paint them better than, like, backgrounds and stuff. It was actually really funny. It looked really bad, and then I stopped filming for, like, 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden I fixed it. And I was like, oh, of course, well, I'm not filming. But yeah, also, fun fact, if you don't know, in the princess community, the Disney princess community, there is debates on this dress, okay? So, Disney normally shows it as being blue, right? Like in the dolls and in like all the things is blue. But in the movie, it's not blue. Okay? In the movie, you might think it's white, but actually it's silver. And for some reason, I always picture the dress being dark blue, like not light blue like it is, like in toys and stuff. I always picture it being dark blue, like the background. I don't know where I got that from, but it's silver. And for some reason, when I paint stuff that's like gray or white, I don't like to use gray to shade things. Maybe because I don't normally have gray. Fun fact, this set actually has a gray, which is like really rare. There's never a gray. But anyway, so I didn't like use the gray for the longest time, and it kept looking blue, and then I was like, no, people are gonna hate me if it looks blue because their dress isn't blue, it's silver. But eventually I just went over it with the gray, and then it looked good. But yeah, I was trying, actually this part I was using teal and purple to shade it, but it ended up looking blue. It does look really pretty though. But yeah, because I don't know how they did it, but in the movie, it's like silver, but it's like this really pretty like purple silver, at least in like the screenshot that I was staring at while painting this. And I was like, what color is that? It's amazing. How did they do that? And I was like, I don't want to just use gray. It's such a pretty purple silver color. Then I was like, how do you even paint purple silver? So I tried to use both the purple and the gray. And I think it looks good. It does look silver, so that's what's important. No one's going to be mad at me that it looked blue, because it looks silver now, so, yeah. Yeah, also, another thing people get mad at is, like, when someone's blonde, but, like, you use yellow. They're like, blonde isn't yellow. Well, listen, okay? Cinderella's hair is pretty yellow, okay? So, my girl also has pretty yellow hair, so it wasn't me, it was Cinderella movie. It was a Cinderella movie. And then here's when I do the sparkles. Yeah, it looked really bad at this part, and I was really scared, but, luckily sparkles can't look bad, so by the end it looks really cool. But yeah, so fun fact, this is actually really cool, and I don't know if I've ever noticed this before, but the fairy godmother, like, sparkles, they actually don't, like, float. They kind of, like drizzle. They drew gravity with the sparkles. I love the detail. I mean, Disney doesn't know how to draw sparkles, then I don't know what to say about the rest of the world. But anyway, so I tried to add the drizzle, too. So I was like, that's so cool that they're falling at the same time. It's amazing. Yeah, so I did spend like 15 minutes probably on these just to, make sure they look good. But yeah, I think that's actually all I wanted to say. Oh yeah, also I want to talk about the hands. I struggled on those for a long time during the sketch too, but I feel like they look pretty good. Also, I feel like I sound sick, which I am, so if I sound sick, then that would make sense, but I feel like I can hear it. I'm going to have to listen back to the recording and see if I can hear it, but I can hear it right now. Anyway, the hands, I feel like they turned out pretty good. And I gotta say, my last drawing, I have a YouTube short on it, I don't know if you saw, but the hands in that one look really good too, so I hope that's the standard for my hands. Because if that's the standard, I am a master at drawing hands. Though, normally with drawings, you get like, one, maybe two good ones, and then the rest of them just look terrible after a while. But if that's the standard, I'm going to be really happy. Anyway, so I added some stars in the sky, and then I decided the pink dress also needed some sparkles, but I didn't have sparkles in the reference photo, so I didn't go too nuts on the sparkles, but I added some. Also, the white paint isn't actually that good in this set, so I wish the sparkles were more opaque, but I did try. I did a lot of layers. They're still not as sparkly as I want them to be. Yeah, just know there was effort. Woohoo! Last voiceover. So I've been editing this in like chunks as I've been painting it, just so I like remember like what to say. So I haven't done a voiceover in a couple of days with this painting, but I think I said all I wanted to say about this drawing and the pumpkin one too. There's not really much to say about the pumpkin one. We don't talk about the pumpkin one. But I do kind of want to talk about the paints. So I'm pretty sure I've said this in like every single time, like every single video I've used these paints, but they're not bad, but they're not the best, and don't get the 56 set. There's so many colors, they're so annoying. I don't even remember if I've already complained about them in this video yet. I'm sorry if I did. Don't get it. I think if you're gonna get one of these sets, which makes sense because it's really cute and it's a lot of paint for how much you pay, and I do like these paints, but not the 56 set. I mostly just use it so I don't have to mix as many colors, but I have the 18 set and I like that one a lot better. So I think getting a smaller set is the way to go. They have a 24 set, I think it's 24. It's either 24 or 25 or something like that. 24. I think that one is the best one. I don't have that one, but I think it comes with the best colors. And mine's kind of messed up because I switched out some of the colors in the 18 set, so I don't have the original colors. The original colors are in the 56 set, and some of the colors that came in the 56 set are now in the 18 set. So I switched it up. But I think the 24 set has the best colors. Yeah, anyway. So, yeah. But yeah, and the pumpkin, I kind of messed up on the sparkles. So, I am not really a fan of the pumpkin painting. But you know what? I'm happy it's the pumpkin one that I don't like in one of, like, the really beautiful drawings. Because who cares about the pumpkin drawing, you know? Like, if I didn't like the way Cinderella turned out, that would have been really sad. But if it's the pumpkin one, that's fine. It can be the pumpkin one that I don't like. But yeah, I think I just added too many. I don't know. It covered up, like, the size of the pumpkin and the stem. It just kind of looked weird. Yeah, so I mixed the perfect color, and then I decided to try and outline the drawings just to make it look fancier. And I was really scared on this part because I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I just went with it, and I think it does actually look better. Yeah, don't look at how wobbly my lines are, okay? It's hard to do with a paintbrush, get perfectly straight lines. And I didn't go in and fix them either. I did the line and I called it good. If it was wobbly, it's fine. Yeah, I wasn't, I'm talking about the border. So here's the final drawing, and I think the blue border looks better. Black and white are like usual colors, but I wanted to do something that kind of blended in, so I did blue. I like the blue. But yeah, and here are the paintings compared to the reference photos. Obviously, the reference photos are better, so yeah. And mine are definitely more like painty looking. So I'm not saying that's bad or good. That's just they look more painty. Yeah, and also these paints, you can just see the brushstrokes, like, no matter what. So it's not my fault. It looked painty, so I went with the painty style. Painty. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. I really hope I said everything I wanted to say. And I'll definitely do more videos like this. I want to do Princess and the Frog next. Not next video, though, but next time I feel the need to do gouache paintings.